Well, this seems to be a rowdy bunch this evening. I would like to call to order the January 19th regular city council meeting, and we'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance right now. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you. Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mayor Troutman,
Here.
Councilmember Smith, here. Ekstrom,
Here.
Schumacher, here. Gill,
Here.
Weed,
Here.
Shiraki,
Here.
and Meisner.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's move on to item number 2, approval of the minutes for the January 4th regular city council meeting, January 11th, 2016, of course, a special city council meeting, and January 6th, 2016 general government meeting. Are there any corrections from anybody? Then I would ask for a motion from council and a second. Mr. Weed.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. I make the motion to approve the minutes from the January 4th regular city council meeting, the January 11th special city council meeting, and the January 6th general government committee meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Weed. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Gill. Would you call the roll, please, Kathy?
Councilmember Weed,
Aye.
Councilmember Gill,
Aye.
Councilmember Meisner,
Aye.
Councilmember Schumacher,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember Shiraki.
Thank you.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Thank you. Okay, and item number 3, council member announcements. Are there any announcements from any of the council members at this time?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to announce the State of the City address on January 28th at 6 p.m. We'd like to invite all citizens to come and help support the new city council and a new way to communicate between both parties.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Scott?
I would like to remind everyone about our Public Works Committee meeting this Wednesday at 4 p.m. And that will be next door.
Anything else? I would like to also invite all the members of council to be there with me for the State of the City address. I would like to have your support in case I chicken out and want to run away. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that is, if you can be there a little before 6, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Okay. Adoption of the agenda and the consent agenda. Doug, would you review the consent agenda items for us?
First item on the consent agenda is to authorize the city administrator's signature on a contract for service. This would be in the amount of $5,200. The city council reviewed this, the members at the January 6th General Government Committee. It was recommended at that time. This was for RTA, which is an architectural group out of Colorado Springs that specializes in historic preservation. They would be doing the construction documents on the Rudd House roof project. So that's starting the rehabilitation project on the Rudd House. The funding to pay for this service would be through the State Historic Fund. That's a grant that the city has received for that purpose. And that grant funds would be utilized, and we'd anticipated this expenditure in the 2016 budget. For bids for tonight, number 1 of 16 is an exchange server for the IT department to Expite Technologies of Bradenton, Florida, in the amount of $10,116.84. Again, we reviewed this item at the January 6th General Government Committee, and this is for the purchase of a server to replace an existing server that's really no longer supported by Microsoft. And so we would need that upgraded server to carry us forward into the future for our needs. We'd actually received initially 3 quotes, and we went back and got 2 formal quotes for this particular proposal. This particular vendor was the low bidder on this particular item, and we had included the funds for this purchase in the 2016 budget. Bid number 7 of 16 is for aluminum sulfate for the water department to Chemtrade Chemicals of Parsippany, New Jersey, in an amount not to exceed $63,000. This was also reviewed at the January 6th General Government Committee. This is for the annual purchase of aluminum sulfate, which is a product that's used in the daily operations at the water treatment plant for the treatment process. This was the sole bidder out of 3 that were solicited. Again, this is for one of our standard annual purchases, and these funds are included in the 2016 budget. Bid number 8 of 16 is for chlorine for the Water Department to DPC Industries of Hudson, Colorado, an amount not to exceed $21,000. This was also reviewed at the January 6th General Government Committee, and this is for the annual purchase of chlorine that's used in the daily treatment operations at the treatment plant. 1 bid was received from the 3 that were solicited, and again, this is an annual purchase that we anticipate every year, and it's also included in the 2016 budget. Bid number 9 of 16 for sodium chloride for the Water Department to Evoqua Water Technologies of Sarasota, Florida, in the amount of $26,988. Excuse me. This was reviewed and recommended at the January 6th General Government Committee. This particular item is an item used every year in the treatment of water at the water treatment plant. 2 bids were received from the 3 that were solicited. Evoqua was the low bidder on this particular item. And again, these funds are included in the 2016 budget. Bid number 10 of 16 is for annual purchase of repair and replacement parts for the Water Department. These parts are for valves and fittings and fire hydrants and the like that the Water Department uses every year for maintaining the water distribution system and the water treatment system. This is to HD Supply of Colorado Springs in an amount not to exceed $135,000. This item was also reviewed at the January 6th General Government Committee. It was recommended for approval at that time. These funds are also included in the 2016 budget. And then lastly is the list of bills for the last 2-week payable period.
Thank you, Doug. Are there any additions or corrections to that? Hearing none, I seek a motion from council in a second. Mr. Weed.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. I make the motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Meisner. Any discussions on the motion? Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Meisner.
Aye.
Councilmember Shiraki.
Aye.
Councilmember Gill.
Aye.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Thank you. And now, do we have the administrator's report, Doug?
Just a couple items for you. For the new council members, typically once a month, at the end of the month, we report out on a couple of items, one of which is sales tax revenues, which typically is some indication of what's going on in the local economy. And for tonight, I just wanted to give you an update on sort of the end of the year, what was happening in 2015. In December of 2014, sales tax revenues that month were $457,000 to the city. In December of 15, that number was $485,000. So you can see we had an increase, and that's a 6.12% increase from November compared to November of 14. So that's good news. And the next item, you can kind of compare it on a monthly basis. Every month throughout 2015, sales tax revenues had crept up. In some cases, it was a very nice creep, if you will. Sales tax revenues for the entire year were up 7.76% over 2014. So all in all, some good news there. The next item that we typically report on about once a month is kind of what's going on with respect to building activity within our community, another sign of what's going on in the economy. And you know, our building activity has really been down for some time. It kind of stabilized. It is now starting to creep up a little bit, certainly not where it has been in previous years going back a while, but some good news. And so what you'll see is that the number of building permits in 2015 was actually down from 2014. 2014, we actually had more single-family housing starts in 14 than we did in 15. which is probably something that we think may have had something to do with the stimulus program that the city council had created. That news had got out. We saw at the end of the year kind of a little burst in new housing starts. That kind of stabilized in 2015 compared to what it had been sort of in years previous to 2014, like 13 and 12. But the good news was during the year is that the valuation of work in 2015 actually increased 10.9% compared to what it was in 2014. So even though the actual number of permits was down slightly, people were starting to do more work. We had some commercial starts. You'll notice those in the numbers. And so that was good news. And so, hopefully that trend will continue as we go forward into 2016. The next item that I had for tonight, I just wanted to ask the City Council as you probably all know, Jerry Maloney, who is a former City Council member's son, passed away here a few days ago. And it's something that, obviously Jerry served on this board, served with, I think, a couple of you that are here now, and before some of you that are here now, but certainly spent his time serving the community. And I kind of wanted to know maybe two questions tonight. Preston, if you want to address those.
Thank you, Doug. The couple of questions that we'd asked the council was if we could do a dedication or a plaque for a tree that we already have downtown, and asked that we would have them purchase that tree from the city. Is that correct?
The chamber had asked if that was something that the city would be okay with, that they could purchase a tree, because they want to be able to do something as well. And so they wanted to be able to purchase a tree and be able to create some kind of memorial plaque. And, I just wanted to make sure the city council is okay with that, and then what the council might like to do, if anything.
The other alternative that has been brought up is dedication of a bench somewhere, and just open it up for discussion that I personally would like to see something done for the Maloney family. So, any discussion?
One of the things that could be done is that even the benches that are downtown, in some communities, you'll notice if you walk downtown, you walk past the benches and there are little memorial plaques that are put on the benches and so on. So that's another avenue if you wanted to go that direction, or something else for that matter.
Should we leave that option up to the Chamber of Commerce?
What about
Yes, ma'am.
his family? Would they have a preference on whether it was a tree or a bench, or what would honor their
Lisa, would
family
you
member
like
best?
to address us a minute? This is Lisa. She is the manager, jack of all trades for the Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening to everybody. I have done some research into some passions that Michael might have had. Music tends to be the one that keeps coming back to me. He had a love of music. And I don't know if there are any of our sculptures downtown that, I guess he played the French horn, as well as other instruments, but the wind instruments, I think the brass tended to be his favorite. So I don't know if one of our sculptures has to do with music. I don't know if there's something we can do along those lines. We bounced a lot of things off, maybe some beautiful cactus or something at Ecology Park, and of course a bench, a tree, just something that that maybe Michael would say, hey, that's kind of cool.
So what you're really looking for is the the council's agreement to make a proposal to us for one of those items?
To be able to find
To do
something.
that.
At first, it was maybe a tree, rather than sending them flowers. We wanted to do something to memorialize Michael for them, and a tree came up. But then so many other things came up about maybe what he was passionate about, and obviously we just brainstormed on it today. So it's something we're definitely open to discussing, and maybe just to do something along those lines.
What do you think, Doug? Go ahead.
Jim, go ahead.
Are we talking about something that the chamber would expense and then essentially donate to the city?
Correct.
Okay.
We, like, if it was the tree, we would buy the tree that you've already planted. and do a plaque there at that tree. Or if it, if we elect to do a bench, we would buy the bench and a plaque and have it, however you do it normally, however you allow it, because I know you do have benches in certain areas. And I think it's something that maybe we need to take into consideration and talk to Jerry and see maybe what he would enjoy.
Would it be possible to maybe have the family come to a public works meeting and maybe tell us what they would like to see? I know that we've got the hogbacks of, plenty
Absolutely.
of beautiful views, and maybe we could do a musical instrument that the children could play with a plaque, or
I reached out to quite a few people today, asking those that knew Michael what his passions were, to try and glean something. And those were just a few comments that I got back today. And I do think that that having the Maloney family come and talk to us would be wonderful. Obviously, I think we need to give them a little bit of time, and certainly this memorial doesn't need to be done immediately. But it's something that we could ask them when they've had a little bit of time to work through the issues they now have to work through, to come and address it with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa, and just another idea to add to your pocket is maybe a tangible contribution to the concert band at the high school. That might, with his passion of music, it might help further other children's passion for music as well.
And that's true. We could do something with the band at the high school, because he did play in the band. Was very passionate about that at school.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, and Lisa, I don't know if the chamber or the council would like to do this, rather than maybe doing two different things, maybe the idea of going together, and, maybe if we could, put together the right amount of money, buy some piece of sculpture for downtown that is musical oriented. That's
Or
that
that
French
maybe
horn
had,
or whatever.
I was going to say that had his
Interesting
French
idea,
horn.
and has the little memorial plaque added to it, because it's always something that the whole community can enjoy, but yet at the same time, it's a memorial for someone that, we certainly care about the Maloney family, and, maybe that's an approach as well, if that would work.
And I do think it's a way for us to kind of give back to Jerry and his family, because of so much that he has done for this community.
That's a great idea. Would you want to pursue that as number one right now?
I will pursue
Okay.
different avenues and get back to you on what I find out.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lastly, I got one more item.
Oh, my, go ahead.
Sorry, Harry, we just had you come up here from Texas, and we're really not going to talk to you tonight. Last item for tonight is typically at this time of year, we've been given our second check from the Royal Gorge Bridge Company of Colorado, and Harry Hargrave is here tonight, and I think he would like to give us a little bit of an update about their year and kind of some things that they might be looking forward to.
Thank you, Doug. And thank you, council. And congratulations on each of you who are new council members. I only see two faces that I've seen in the past in your positions. And I congratulate you. Your work is noble. It's a noble service, and thank you for doing that. I want to thank again the staff of Canyon City, the municipal staff, and all the support they've given us in the past and the previous council. 2 years ago, we had a very, very terrible situation occur to the whole community. And the Royal Gorge Bridge and Park participated in that in a very difficult time. We were able to make our lease payment that year. And this year, as Doug said, we have made a second payment that we are required to do under the lease. But we couldn't have done it had the city staff not responded to us on a timely basis. John and Doug were tremendous in everything. We didn't always see eye to eye, but we reached consensus on all decisions, and the result is what you see out off of Highway 3A now. We're very proud of the park. We're proud of its future and happy about its future. And we're proud of the past. 69 years ago, we entered into a relationship with the city. It's been a long 69 years. I haven't been up in all of those years, of course. Our predecessors have done a beautiful job for us. But this last year, we entertained approximately 350,000 people, which was a marked increase from the previous full operating season. We wrote a check in 2014, the year of the fire, for $1,347,351. That was the lease payments to the city. 2012, the previous year of operations, because the fire, I guess, happened in 2013, we wrote two checks in the amount of $1,681,688. This last week, we sent a check over to Harry and to Doug, and it completed an amount that we paid of $2,130,552, the largest amount that we've ever been able to pay in rent. And when we have to pay more in rent, that means we're doing better, and that's great. And our season was excellent. We're looking forward to another wonderful year. The audit has been completed and has been given to Harry Patel. I know he's having conversations with Jerry Nines about that as late as just 15 minutes ago. We are pleased with our relationship with the city, and we look forward to many years of future service to you and to the community. We're very excited about programs that we have planned for this next year. I am personally very excited about our staff, best we've ever had. Mike Bandera does a beautiful job. Jerry Nines, if you don't know her, surely you know Jerry Nines. She keeps all the finances together and the rest of us in our place, and she does a wonderful, wonderful job for us. Several of our staff members are here tonight, and nothing positive would happen out there had it not been for those people who stayed with us through some very difficult times. So thank you again for your support over the years and for your support in the future. If you have any questions, our team is here to answer them, or I can do that as well.
Thank you, Harry. Any questions of council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. First, I want to thank you for all that you do at the bridge. It's our jewel, and we are so proud of the bridge. And I just didn't know if you're aware that Canyon City has a new website on canyoncity.org. And on that website, we have an excellent page called Things to Do. And it's very extensive of things that people can do besides, in addition to coming to the bridge, and do in our community as well. And I noticed that you have some links on your website already of some things to do in Canyon City, but if you would consider adding perhaps canyoncity.org's page of things to do.
We'd be happy to do that, and it's our intent to rework our webpage this next several months, and that's timely, and I'll tell the people who are doing that to contact someone with the city about that. But we're happy to do that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Are there any citizens that have any requests, Kathy, to talk to the council?
We've received one written request to speak to council. That's an item that's not already on the agenda. That's Lisa Himes with the Canyon City Chamber of Commerce. She wants to go ahead and talk about the State of the City address.
Yeah, I think you're time limited, Lisa, so just kidding.
Well, I know it's already been discussed. My thunder was stolen, but I just wanted to let the public, people watching Channel 191, know that the State of the City address is January 28th. Our own Mayor Preston Troutman will be giving his ideas and exciting things that we have coming up in 2016, and we all look forward to that. It's going to be at Canyon City High School at 6 p.m., and we will have flyers around the city. They'll be at the Chamber of Commerce, and if anyone would like a flyer to put up in their business, they can either give me a call, and I'm happy to run it over. They can come by and pick it up, or we can email it to them. But we'd like to get the word out to as many people as possible because we want everyone to get involved with our city and know what's going on and be a part of it, because that's the only way that that we can all work together to make it better. So thank you very much, and I hope everyone will attend.
Thank you. Just a minute. Mr. Meisner?
Mr. Mayor and Lisa.
Yes, sir.
Last year, it seems like that there was a complication with the broadcast on 191.
Last year, we were unable to broadcast from the bridge. This year, I believe we have set something up. Yes, I'm getting the nod over there from Jen O'Connor. We have set something up. We will be broadcasting from Canyon City High School to Channel 191, and I'm hoping that also we'll be able to play it several times. I don't know how that works, but it would be wonderful if if we could. It's not a direct. It's not. Oh, it's not going to be real time. And our people are so good, I know they're going to make something great happen. So we're going to, it will be on Channel 191, and I hope it will air several times, and everyone will have the opportunity to see it if they can't make it.
So is that going to be a recorded within a delayed broadcast? Yes. Thank you.
And we will also offer a transcript of it if somebody wants one. We'll post it on our website, and we will email it to people or make copies available if anyone would like a transcript of it. Guess I'm going to get one, right, sir?
Yeah, I'm cutting it down to a minimum of 3 hours, so.
And you expect me to transcribe it, right?
Of course. Where's your thunder? No, it's not that long, okay?
Well, I'm going to leave this poster right up here on the podium in case anyone would like to take it with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Are there any other people?
That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. The mayor gets to appoint people for committees, and I had no idea there was that many. And we did get you a list. Kathy and I trudged through it. And would you please look at that? And don't be surprised if your name's on there several times. It was fun. The only one I'd like to, we're going to add Jimmy Shiraki, who has consented to be on the FEDC, a representative of the city and on the FEDC board, DC board. Thank you, Jimmy. And so, any other comments or questions that anybody has? Yes, sir.
I thought that I had seen some previous council members. Are they continuing on some of those committees?
Yes. Probably what you're talking about is the employee pension plan.
You seen that one?
And so those are representatives for that specific purpose. And I left them on there because of the knowledge that they had in that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Planning Commission,
Planning Commission was a council appointment. The ones that's on there that's not changed is the one, he's just making the mayoral appointments. Those ones that's made by you guys and voted on by you guys will either be conducted by interviews. The one that you see probably on the employees' pension plan is the past council member Ron Bates. That is a council appointment. So council will be making that appointment. These were just ones that were done by the mayor.
while we're on this topic, just really quick, regarding the Planning Commission though, we have an upcoming interview Wednesday afternoon. And we're filling 2 vacancies.
2 vacancies that's been left vacant by the mayor, Preston Troutman, and Mr. Gill.
Okay. And then are we just going to continue to leave the one that's labeled vacant then? And then
That one was the one that was filled. That's an error on my part. That's the one that Austin Dunderman is filling.
Dunderman. Okay. And then Council Member Frieda's vacancy there. How does that work?
That was the other one I said.
Thank you, because that's actually 3 vacancies. Because
Council will appoint that member to one of your own members
Okay.
to that.
Who will be a liaison between council and the planning commission?
I foresee that happening probably tomorrow night following that meeting. So if one of you want to sit on that, you may want to let the other council members know.
all right, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, anything else on the appointments? If not, let's move on to part number.
wait.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Close.
there
You're
was
close.
one other one, the regional communication. It's still showing Tony as an alternative?
That was me.
Council appointment again.
That's a council appointment again, so we'll
Okay.
have to
So-
get with council. On those ones that are council appointments, you guys will need to make sure if you want to sit on one of those to make your wishes known to the other council members, and we'll get those taken care of, kind of like we did the mayoral ones.
Anything more? The mayor's available for that position in case you want to nominate him, so. Okay. Now, are we ready? Let's move on to number 8, ordinance number 1, series 2016, second reading. Special review use, accessory dwelling unit at 145 South Reynolds. Would the clerk read by title?
This is a bill for ordinance number 1, series of 2016, and ordinance amending section 17.24.050 of the municipal code to add thereto a new subsection identifying a certain land use permitted only by special review, an accessory dwelling unit located at 145 South Reynolds Avenue.
Hey, Mr. Havens, do you have a staff report? Or-
Mr. Mayor, generally, we wouldn't need a staff report. The applicant was not at the prior meeting. He may or may not be here tonight. If he is here, could you come up to the lectern? We want to get you on the record. Moment or two. Could you please state your name and property address?
First of all, I apologize for being absent at the previous meeting. I got the dates mixed up, and when I was getting ready to come, I realized that it was the night before. So I apologize for that. My name is Andrew
Could you speak into the
Stoltzfus.
microphone, please?
Sorry. My name is Andrew Stoltzfus. I am the owner at 145 South Reynolds Avenue.
Right. And my question for purposes of the record is, are you familiar with the recommendations made by the Planning Commission?
Yes, I
And
was.
are they acceptable to you?
Yes.
And are you aware that at the, during the discussions during the last time this ordinance was before council, one of the conditions was omitted by a motion and affirming vote by council to the effect that you don't need to frost windows.
Yes.
But in all other respects, you're comfortable with the recommendations.
Yes, I am.
All right. That's what I needed to do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Havens. Okay, I need a motion from council and a second. Would anyone like to make a motion? Go, Mr. Meisner?
Mr. Mayor and Council, I move that we approve ordinance number 1, 2016, second reading.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Schumacher. Kathy, any discussions on the motion? Okay, Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Meisner?
Aye.
Councilmember Schumacher?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Gill?
Aye.
Councilmember Shraki?
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom?
Aye.
Councilmember Weed?
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Okay, let's move on to item number 9, which is ordinance number 2, series 216, vacation of public right-of-way. I would need a motion and a second from, oh, by title, yes, I'm sorry. I'm getting this, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is a bill for ordinance number 2, series of 2016, an ordinance vacating a public right-of-way and reserving easements in the city of Canyon City, Colorado.
And now I would need a motion and a second from council.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2, 2016, second reading.
There a second?
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom?
Aye.
Councilmember Gill?
Aye.
Councilmember Meisner?
Aye.
Councilmember Weed?
Aye.
Councilmember Sharaki?
No, nay.
Councilmember Schumacher?
Aye.
Approved by majority vote.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to item number 10, a public hearing for application for transfer of ownership of a hotel restaurant liquor license at 523 Main Street from Lazy Cajun Inc. to Canyon Rental LLC.
Canyon Royale, not rental.
Canyon Royale, I'm so sorry. Canyon Royale, Beth.
It doesn't
So-
sound nearly as good.
Need to open the public hearing. We need a report from city clerk.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is Beth Katchmar, the sole member of Canyon Royal LLC, who has filed an application of a transfer of a hotel restaurant liquor license currently held by Lazy Cajun LLC, doing business as the Bistro. Notice of this public hearing was given by posting the premises at 523 Main Street. Ms. Katchmar plans to operate the establishment as her primary place for her catering business and community events, parties, etc. She has indicated the need for a kitchen large enough to accommodate both a catering portion and also utilize the sitting areas for such events, if such events, community events should arise. Beth has attended several training sessions offered by the city and several other liquor licenses and is familiar with the state liquor code. She has identified that she will maintain the experienced staff and will ensure that formal training of all employees in the future is a requirement of their job. She's been operating under a temporary license pending this hearing and final approval, during which time there have been no areas of concern with that operation. Upon review of the application, it's been determined that the appropriate state and city forms and fees have been submitted, the diagram of premises meets the filing requirements, and the applicant has possession of the premises through a lease. And the applicant holds a valid sales tax license through the city as well. Food sales license as well through SID. Enclosed in your packet is the applications and associated documents. With that, I'd open it up to any questions you may have of the applicant.
Questions from council? Weed?
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Dennis.
Good to see you here. Nothing new here.
No. There's some temporary insanity, maybe.
Are you familiar with the Colorado Liquor Code?
Yes, I am.
Is there or will there be a copy of it on file at your establishment?
Yes, there will.
How many employees do you expect to have?
I don't anticipate any particularly there. I probably will use them from other businesses, but potentially one if we get where we're operating on a regular basis. But right now, we're just, this will be an event center, so we'll bring people over from mostly from Pizza Madness to run the place.
Sure.
So.
So how are you going to train them on the liquor code?
All my employees undergo the liquor training by the state of Colorado and also regular reviews of the liquor laws.
I knew that. Did you submit a petition for signatures? No.
No, because this is a transfer.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. It's, are you fully aware that you are responsible for compliance with the Colorado Liquor Code and that any violations of this code may be held against you and or your business and result in the suspension and or revocation of your license?
Yes, I am aware.
This is usually the opportunity we give everybody to do a little pitch, so let her rip.
About the business, or
Yeah,
well,
sure. Just tell us what you're going to do.
Well, we're just my main reason for doing this is actually just to continue to hold the liquor license there while we determine what to do. But it looks like it's very promising for an event center and to use for catering. I used it quite a bit over the holidays, Christmas time, and I have several other events already scheduled. There's people are reacting very favorably to the possibility of having a main floor, Main Street event center that holds anywhere from any size groups up to a couple hundred people.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Weed. Are there any comments from the audience? You done with your courtesy
I don't
one?
know. I don't know if George should be. I don't know. This is.
Well, we'll hold
He's
him.
just leaving soon.
Are you leaving? Would you
I
please?
think they're just leaving. Are you leaving?
Are you leaving?
No.
You want to talk?
Okay.
Would you step up to the microphone and state your name and where you live?
My name is George Turner. I live at 1514 Vine Street in Canyon City.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I happen to be one of the participants in the Rotary Club's Christmas party that was hosted at this event center in the month of December. And I don't know of any place in Canyon City or any place anywhere that could have done a better job than they did there for us. The food was fantastic. The service is great. I think it's going to be a wonderful new addition to downtown Canyon City. Oh, and while I'm here, this is off the subject, but
We're in a public hearing, George.
I know.
So
You're not going to let me say what I wanted to say.
Is it okay, Mr. Havens, that we can
I
Mickey?
think it'd be okay. If it gets out of hand, we can strike it from.
It'll just take
Okay.
a second.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the picture of the Royal Gorge Bridge on the city's website, I think is the prettiest picture of the bridge that I've ever seen.
Okay, well, those comments are okay, George. Yes, sir. Would you step to the microphone and your name and address, please?
Sure. My name is John Hamrick. I live at 108 Dewey Road here in Canyon City. I just wanted to say that I've been a resident of Canyon City since 2005. Pizza Madness was the first restaurant that I ate in. I was also lucky enough to participate in the leadership class that goes around and looks at the activities, functions, and agencies that make up Fremont County with Beth. And I would support her application.
Thanks, sir.
We just had John's retirement party. He just retired from Cotter, so.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion and a second. Mr. Weed.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, I'll make the motion to approve the transfer of the ownership of the hotel, restaurant, liquor license from the Lazy Cajun Inc., doing business as the Bistro, to Canyon City Royale.
Second.
Who's second?
I'll second.
Mr. Scott did? Mr. Ekstrom?
Thank
Are
you.
there any discussions on the motion? If not, would you call roll, please?
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom.
Aye.
Councilmember Gill.
Aye.
Councilmember Meisner.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharaki.
Aye.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Aye.
Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Okay, and item number 11 is executive session to discuss personal issues. And I need a motion from council to go into executive session. Mr. Weed.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of council, I move that council go into executive session in accordance with sections 24-6, 402-4D and E of the Colorado Revised Statutes for the purpose of conducting discussions intended to determine the city's positions and strategies relative to certain personnel matters that may be subject to negotiation concerning the city's appointed officers, the city's municipal court prosecutor, and the city's associate municipal court judges. During such executive session, the city council may confer with the city attorney for purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions regarding the city charter and other provisions of city law pertaining to the city's appointed officers, municipal prosecutor, and associated municipal court judges as permitted by CRS Section 24-6, 402-4B. No action is expected to follow this executive session.
Mr. Weed, do I have a second?
A second.
Mr. Meisner. Any discussion on the motion? Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Weed.
Aye.
Councilmember Meisner.
Aye.
Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Aye.
Councilmember Gill.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharaki.
Aye.
Councilmember Ekstrom.
Aye.
Approved by unanimous vote.
Thank you. We'll convene in the executive room.